Welcome us once again to our today's class. In this very question, we are given a diagram as you can see here, and we are asked to determine the bearing of I from what? E. This is the location of I, and this is where the point E is, okay? And we are asked to determine the bearing of this I from what? E. As you can see, even the bearing of E from I is already given in this word diagram. So we need to determine the bearing of what? This I from what? E. So how do you go about it? Now, let's try and sketch this, okay? It will guide us through getting the answer correct, okay? So by resketching this, I'm going to draw my 4 cardinal points, okay? Here I have my north, my south, my west, and my what? East. Now, where this point E is from I, this is where we have point what? I, okay? This very place is point what? I, okay? From this point I, we are told that the angle or the bearing, the angle we are given here is what? 278 degree, okay? Now, if you take your bearing from the north, you already know that our north is always our reference point whenever you come to three-figure bearing, okay? This is a three-figure bearing. So, starting from the north, okay, taking a movement from the north towards the east here, to this east position is 90 degree. Then from there to this point, another what? 90, making it what? 180. Then from here to this very point, another 90, making it what? 270. So you have 90 plus 90 plus 90. That will give us 270 degree, right? So we need extra what? 80 what degree to make it up to what? 280. How do you get that? That will be 280 degree minus 270 what degree. Okay, 270, sorry, 270 degree, 278, sorry, 278 degree, okay? This 278 degree minus 270 degree, okay? So 8 minus 0, 8, 7 minus 7, 0, 2 minus 2, 0. So we have extra what? 8 degree here, okay? So here is what? 8 what? Degree. Okay, where this very point is now, that is where we have our what? E, okay? This is where our E is, this very point here. Now, what do we do at this point? We need to draw another cardinal point here, okay? Then another one in this direction, okay? So here is our north, here is our south, here is our west, and here is our what? East, okay? Now, if you are observant, you notice that the angle we have at this very spot here, this place, the angle at this 8 degree we have here is also alternative to the angle here. So here will also be what? 8 degree, right? Okay. Now, what are we asked to determine here? We have to determine the bearing of what? I from what? E. So this is where I is and this is where E is. So we want to take the bearing from what? This point E. So that we can determine where we can locate what? I from this word E. Okay. Now from this point, from the north, we'll take our bearing in a clockwise direction towards the word east. So getting to east here, we have a what? 90 what degree, right? Now from that east towards getting to where this line is what? Drawn, this line that connects point E and I. So if you continue to that very line, we have additional what? 8 degree, right? So total angle we have here altogether, we have to connect total angle we have here from here like this to this very point, okay? That will give us what? 90 degree plus what? 8 degree, which will give us 98 what? Degree, okay? So therefore, you can say that the bearing, okay, the bearing of I from what? E is what? 98 what? Degree. It's as simple as that. Bearing is a very interesting topic. So if you take your time and you're able to like solve more examples, okay, you will get to find it very interesting. And no question you are going to come across in bearing that you find difficult, okay? So we hope to see you in our next class. In our next class, we'll be learning how to translate a theoretical question into a diagram, and from that diagram we'll begin to calculate distance from one point to the other and the angles, or what we term as well the bearing, okay? So we hope to see you in our next video. Do well to follow us so that when we make a new video, you will get notified, okay? Thank you so much.